Welcome to the Normally Online podcast, episode number 4, podcast in which we talk about things happening both on and off the internet. Plenty of stuff going on in the real world, in the digital world, but first, we have a question from one of our dear listeners. Well, more of a demand than a question. Andrew says, please discuss bidets and those who advocated for them. Aaron, what are your thoughts on bidets?
So I have only used one once in my life. Well, I used it more than once. At an Airbnb we stayed at had a bidet in it. And I will say it's alarming the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely when you're not used to the feeling, it catches you off guard. You know, it makes you jump off the seat a little bit, gets your blood pumping, maybe puts some goosebumps on the backs of your arms.
Ooh.
Not just the backs of your arms.
Yeah. But once you're in the zone, once you've gotten through that, it's great. I think every toilet should probably come with one. Maybe you can opt out if you want a cheaper toilet for, lacking the bidet experience. But I wish that they became standardized because sometimes, man, toilet paper just doesn't get the job done.
I'm curious about the second part of that question, too, where it wasn't just like, what do you think about bidets? It's also, and the people who advocated for them. Like, it sounds like they're all dead. Like,
the Inquisition got them.
Yeah.
Big toilet paper got their hands on the bidet early adapters.
I feel like some sort of bidet rapture that like pulled them all up to like toilet heaven and like.
Yeah, I hope you're safe out there, Andrew. I feel that like there has been a bit of a movement though. I think it stems from like creators going to Japan a lot. Because there's Ludwig. He has his own bidet company now. This is not sponsored by them. I wish. I don't own a bidet myself. Now, what's interesting though, Aaron, you mentioned that toilets should come with them. I agree. But did you know that, for instance, in Spain, they have basically every household, I think, has a bidet, but they don't come with the toilet. They're separate from the toilet.
So, wait. Is it like in the shower? Where does the water go?
No, so you have your toilet, you do your business, and then you scoot over. You scoot over to the next seat over, and there's a little bidet where you do your stuff.
I think that there's easier solutions too. I think that they have bidets that hook into like the water tank behind your toilet. That you can like accessorize your toilet with a bidet.
Yeah, that is what I'm experienced with because I don't know of any toilets over here that come with a bidet.
Yeah. Okay. So you could do a thing where, like you said, you can accessorize your toilet. You have the bowl looking like a hamburger bun. And then you have your toilet seat looking like a hamburger bun, and the bidet in the middle is whatever you want it to be.
This is like that Rick and Morty episode where like Rick goes off to a planet super far away just to shit. Like, if you had to create your perfect utopian bathroom experience, where are you shitting?
It's somewhere with a bidet.
That's it.
You're
the sewer with a bidet.
Okay, well, not the sewer.
Okay, well, be specific.
Okay, a regular toilet, not a Dutch toilet, because you people have bullied me in the past about Dutch toilets, and rightfully so. Dutch toilets are blights upon the world. So an American-style toilet with a Japanese bidet installed on it, because, I went to Spain a couple of months ago. I experienced Nirvana while the stream hit my you-know-where. But they are kind of lacking in the tech department because it was a nice little stream. I want a diamond cutter up there.
You want to feel cold on the inside after you're done?
Well, that's the thing because, in Spain it's hot as fuck. So it's not just cleaning. It's also just refreshing, Because isn't that... I don't know if this is a real thing, but I saw it in Blue Mountain States, where if you have a heat stroke on the football field, someone will like shove an ice rod up your ass.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's the old ice rod enema.
Yeah. So it kind of felt like a light version of that. It's beautiful. Jonas, have you used the bidet? I feel like
I
you're
have.
dodging the question. Okay.
No, I'm not dodging the question. I just thought that the second part was much more interesting. Like,
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's pretty cut, and I would say dry, but bidets are a bit wet. But
Yeah.
bidets are just better. Like, I heard somebody
Mhm.
refer to like cleaning, like if you were to take some peanut butter and just like try to wipe it with a napkin, like that doesn't work. You know, like
Yeah.
why are
Right.
we doing that with toilet paper?
I have also heard the comparison. If you got poop on your arm, are you wiping it off with toilet paper or are you running it under the sink? Right?
It's very fair. I actually saw a tweet the other day that was like, when you wipe and the first wipe is completely frictionless,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a Herculean task to clean up. Yeah, I'm super for bidets.
Yeah, which is why I think that's the less interesting part of the question, because the second part was just this very ominous, like, what about their advocates? Like, are we
I, f-
advocating that right now? Like, are
I
we
feel
gonna
like we're in danger.
we're in
I
danger?
I think that part is just pointing at like the globalization of like quality goods, you know? Americans just didn't know how sick bidets were until the last 20 years.
I want to get somebody on here who doesn't like bidets. I want to get
It's
the
true.
number
I
one
haven't heard the
bidet
counter
hater.
argument. I've
Yeah,
never heard someone use a bidet and be like, I will never do that again. I
there
don't keep
is
that
there
away
is
from me.
one subsect of men who think it's gay for anything to touch your ass, so they will not
Yeah.
use a bidet. Which controversial opinion, not a very strong argument, but whatever. Hey, if you want a stinky bum, then go ahead. I'll be using a bidet.
I do remember a classic Reddit post of a guy being like, my girlfriend is mad that my desk chair has gotten the smell, and he's talking about it like everyone knows the smell your desk
Yeah.
chair gets after a while, and all
Mhm.
of the comments are like, what are you talking about, man? And he's like, well, I thought this was going to be a welcoming community, but I see I was wrong.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
everybody has just little poop stains stuck to their seat, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to talk about the poop knife,
Mm,
another
that's another one.
classic. Yeah. I feel like bidets, those both of those posters, their problems will be solved by a bidet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to advocate too much because now I'm worried. But yeah, we're for them as a whole.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Andrew.
Dude,
It
thank you
was
for the question. Very interesting. If you have any other questions or demands, then please let us know.
Yeah. I guess I could see somebody being nervous about that though. Just like foreign object up the butt.
But it's not even an object, it's just the force of nature.
Water is a force of nature.
It is, yeah.
Speaking of forces of nature, have you heard the news about Joey Chestnut?
Dude.
So, for those who are not followers of the competitive eating circuit, Joey Chestnut is a force of nature. He wins the hot dog eating contest like every year. How many? Yeah, he's won 16 times.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's the GOAT of glizzy guzzling. And he's been banned from the competition.
Is he just too good, or like what'd they get my boy for?
So he chose to represent Impossible Foods, known for the Impossible Burger. It's plant-based meat. And because it is a rival of the hot dog maker that sponsors the event,
Nathan's,
he's banned for representing a rival company. I think, here's my conspiracy theory. Maybe this is the tinfoil hat theory.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an excuse to get the GOAT out of the game.
Oh.
They couldn't get him. They couldn't beat him fair and square, so they had to come up with a reason to kick him out. That's my theory.
Now, I've got a little bit of a controversial opinion on this whole thing. I feel like Nathan's is kind of in the right on this one.
Oh.
Because, like, imagine Adidas sets up a basketball tournament and then Michael Jordan shows up in his Nikes. That's I feel like people would be on the side of Adidas. Like, that's a little weird to show up to your sponsor's event, brandishing a rival's product. But
That's fair.
now, if Joey Chestnut, I almost said Joey Salads, but he's good at consuming something very different. If Joey Chestnut, for instance, went vegan, then you might say, this tournament is not willing to meet him halfway with the vegan restrictions, because I don't think Nathan's got a great vegan hot dog. I'm just saying.
Are they even in the market for a vegan hot dog?
I don't know. This is something that the judge will have to take a look at. But I like this conspiracy theory, though, that although who's even going to show up if Joey Chestnut isn't there?
Right. He is the only name in competitive hot dog eating that I know.
That is, you are now stepping on the toes of my actual GOAT, Takeru Kobayashi.
Oh, okay. Yep. Never mind. That I do know that one. But
I actually looked into a little bit of competitive eating after I saw the article, and there's a little bit of a meta going on where Kobayashi cannot defeat Joey Chestnut in glizzy gulping, like he's the undisputed GOAT. But when it comes to pizza, our boy Kobayashi takes not the cake, but the pizza.
Because takes the whole pizza pie.
Okay, you know what? Hit me with a guess for how many slices of pizza Kobayashi ate in 12 minutes.
Well, let's see.
Well, what size are we talking here?
It doesn't say, but I'm going to assume like a medium.
Okay.
I'm getting a medium pizza. I'm eating, I'm not speed eating, but I'm probably going at like 2 slices every 12 minutes. Just a leisurely pizza eating.
That is pretty slow.
That's slow.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, I'm not trying to be speedy about it. This is the starting point.
Yeah.
So if I am trying to be speedy about it, maybe like times that by 2, biting twice as fast, chewing twice as quick, swallowing twice as quick. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And then like, how much better can somebody be at eating? Right?
Right. Yeah. He's also short and lightweight. So.
Less distance for his throat to cover. I see.
Oh, yeah. Good intel.
You hear the rumors of like when you're in software, everyone's looking for the 10x developer, the developer who'll do 10 times the amount of work as every other developer on the team. I think this guy's a 10x pizza eater. He's doing 10 times the work of all the other pizza eaters.
Okay. So
I might just go with like a 20.
20 slices in 12 minutes.
20
slices. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I see. Maybe I'm way off on this, but I'm picturing 8 slices per pizza, right? That's the standard. In 12 minutes, I think he could eat 5 pizzas at his pace. Okay. So that would be 60 slices.
60 slices. He ate 62 slices in 12 minutes. And I believe these were, like 4 or whatever many sliced pizzas, because it was 15 and a half pizzas in 12 minutes.
15 and a half pizzas. Okay, so I was close on the slice count, but apparently he was eating some
big slices.
Mondo slices.
He'll roll
this
them
is
up
sort of
and
like
just
the dude
down.
talking about the days. He's like, I make all of my days into 3 days. This guy's like, I make all of my pizzas into 3 slices.
The doctor said I could only have 3 slices of pizza a day, so I don't slice.
So, Jonas.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Joey Chestnut being banned?
I'm just sort of sitting here and I'm like, yeah, if he's representing a rival brand, it's like, okay, I can sort of understand that. But Nathan's doesn't even make vegetarian like hot dogs, so I don't really feel like it's too much of a competitor. So I think that this is just, it seems a little sus. I think that there's something a bit deeper here than just brand rivalry that they're failing to disclose.
I could see that. There's also another factor is how can we be sure of competitive integrity if someone else is going to be, delivering his glizzies? because they need to be the same size, the same weight for this to be a fair competition.
Oh, was he eating the Impossible Glizzy during this?
Well, the idea was that he was going to be...
My interpretation was that he just got sponsored by him.
Yeah, I thought he was just
And then
repping.
he's doing the normal glizzies. He's sucking down Nathan's dogs.
In a Impossible shirt. Okay. Yeah. Then I misunderstood that part. But
yeah. So like I think that they're just trying to get him out for some reason, somehow. Which also seems like shooting yourself in the foot. Because it's like, who's going to show up? Like you guys are saying, if Joey Chestnut isn't there to eat.
For nearly 2 decades, we have worked under the same basic hot dog exclusivity provisions. Incredible.
I love when you find out about niche communities and how seriously they take their rules.
Yep. He was offered a 4-year, $1.2 million contract by Nathan's. Holy.
I mean, I know he's the GOAT, but that is $1.2 million to eat hot dogs is crazy.
Which means that Impossible must have offered some real cash if he went with them.
I will say it is a little insulting. And I know I'm a flip-flopper here. I'm a fence sitter.
Okay.
It is insulting to Nathan's dogs that he has been pounding their glizzies for a decade plus, and then he's like, yeah, I'm switching. Yeah, I'm going Impossible.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about Joey Chestnut. That's why Kobayashi will always be the true GOAT. Joey Chestnut is only in it for the money. He's suckling down those tasty little glizzies, all for the cold hard cash. Kobayashi's in it for the love of the game.
Love of the game or just the love of the pizza, you know?
No, moving on from competitive eating.
Mm-hmm.
Domsko, I heard that you have found a recent interest in Ray J.
Dude.
Could you break that down for us?
Yeah, like many people, I did not know who Ray J was until he made a sex tape with Kim Kardashian. I want to say like 2006, 2007 or something. And recently he was on a podcast. I don't know which one it was. Ray J, you are hereby invited to appear on the Normally Online podcast. But he was talking about how the sex tape changed things. And now obviously sex tape made Kim Kardashian famous, which made the Kardashians a lot more famous than they already were. And he was talking like, what if I never did it? Would OnlyFans still exist? Would more people be going to college? Are we a part of the cure or are we a part of the disease? And at first I was laughing, I was giggling. But then I was like, maybe there's some truth to it, because I feel like shows like the Kardashians actually kind of change things, you know, for real.
So what came before with Kardashian stuff? Was that before Jersey Shore? Where's that on the Jersey Shore timeline? Because I feel like that's a parallel universe that's like converging at the same reality.
Let's find out.
I feel like the major difference is the Jersey Shore people weren't obscenely wealthy. Like in the Kardashian, like they're probably rich now, but at the time they were just people partying on the Jersey Shore, whereas the Kardashians, their thing is having more money than any human should have.
So the Keeping Up with the Kardashians started the same year that the sex tape came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which came first?
Ray
J or Kim?
I'm gonna open an incognito window to look up Ray J. Kim Kardashian tape release date.
Yeah, make sure it's the release date. Don't have anything else there.
Because the release of it was like planned, right? It came out.
Yeah. So Kim Kardashian Superstar came out on March 21st, 2007. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, October 14th, 2007. So that's plenty of time for a production company to set things up.
Mm-hmm.
This is, Ray J changed everything, in my opinion.
Just think, without that, we might not have the Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial.
Dude.
Think about the effect that had on culture.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy. But I am actually curious, like, to an extent, that sex tape, I feel like, almost normalized making publicly making available a sex tape, which, hey, I'm very neutral on that, but would there be OnlyFans if Ray J hadn't made that sex tape?
I feel like maybe it wouldn't have come about as quickly. God, I keep saying "come" when we're talking about the sex tape. I don't know. I guess it's just it's a part of me. It would have happened either way, I believe. It might have been slower, but I think we would have gotten there eventually.
Yeah. I think it's less of a thing that got invented and more of a thing that was discovered. It's like using the internet as a platform for that. Like if somebody didn't discover electricity, Ben Franklin didn't shock his kite with a lightning bolt and a key to prove that it got like redirected that way. Like some other schmuck would have done that 20 years later,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what you're saying is, if that hadn't happened, in 3 years, Ray J and Kim Kardashian would be making a sex tape 20 years later.
Not saying necessarily Ray J and Kim Kardashian, but I'm saying that
like J. Cole and some other lady. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm saying that there's going to be a platform for that type of stuff that comes out. A platform for like a way to sell whatever types of explicit images or stuff you want to have online.
That's a fair take. So what would the internet look like right now, though, if it had taken like 20 more years for something like that to be released?
Okay, I think 20 years is a bit much.
Okay.
I feel like
we're moving faster than we were in Ben Franklin's days now.
So things are moving.
2 years ago it dropped. The internet has changed. In what way? Would there be as many bots on Twitter going my kitten in bio?
Yo, that's just allowed now, so they don't have to put it in bio. So maybe,
but would that be allowed? Would that be allowed though if it hadn't happened 20 years ago?
That's true. It is very interesting because OnlyFans started out as just like another Patreon, right? And then they didn't ban porn, so naturally it took over the entire site, and now that's all it's known for. I feel like it's just, what do you call it? I don't want to call it like gig work for porn, but like independent publishing, I guess, rather than signing to a label.
Yeah, I mean, it is, yeah. Are there still people out there on OnlyFans just making like art? Just like arts and crafts creators? Hey, please join me OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Zero nudity.
I feel like the connotation of it at this point is too much for somebody to like legitimately be trying to market that if it's not for like a meme,
right?
Like if you have the shock factor of like I made an OnlyFans for my car, then it's like, okay, that's sort of goofy, that's sort of funny. It's like people are imagining sexy pictures of your car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you say, yeah, I'm doing drawing on here, people are going to be lined up with their dogs out so much that Joey Chestnut wouldn't be able to guzzle them all.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you're not making explicit content, why would you not just make a Patreon at this point, right?
Yeah.
Patreon's much more respectable. It gives sort of
Patreon.com/normally-online. No, we don't have a Patreon yet. But imagine the segue. Imagine the segue where we say we have an OnlyFans for the podcast right here.
Speaking of which, and now for a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by toilet paper. The average bidet uses millions? Really? Okay, relax. Put the gun down, man. The average bidet uses millions of gallons of water every year and is considered one of the top causes of climate change. The Normally Online podcast officially rescinds its stance on bidets, and we advise everyone to continue using toilet paper. Alright, there, it's done. Can I go now?
And we are back. Thank you to the wonderful sponsor for keeping the lights on, keeping us going, keeping water in our cups.
So what else has been going on the internet? Jonas, have you been online at all over the last week?
Yeah, so something that I saw online recently, I was going on like subreddits and I was just seeing ones that were like the best of Tumblr or like the 4chan wholesome whatevers, and I stumbled across this Tumblr one that was talking about why teachers just aren't getting paid enough to deal with this bullshit anymore.
Okay.
And this person they started off, they're like, why aren't people becoming teachers? And somebody responded, yeah, I just had to email my students' parents to let them know he punched me in the face and broke my glasses this morning. So that's
Oh my
not as much
God.
fun. And then the parents' response to this wasn't like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Like, we're going to have to like reprimand him and tell him not to be punching people. What they responded with was they said, hey, in an effort to break this routine, we've come up with this idea to put a calming banana in his bag that he'll eat as soon as he gets to school. Their hypothesis wasn't this kid was angry for any other reason than he may be hungry after the bus ride and acting out from this.
Did these parents accidentally conceive of a silverback gorilla?
I don't know, but they're like, yeah, we're hoping this calming banana can be his special superpower to get him back on track. And it's just like, what are you talking about? A banana's going to prevent cramping, not give you powers.
Yeah, I mean, I love bananas. I have in the past been a little grumpy, and then I eat banana, and then I'm no longer grumpy. I don't want to be the one defending the weirdos on this episode, but maybe it will be a special superpower to get him back on track.
But like, he's hungry? That's your first thing? Like, didn't
No,
you just have
he's not
breakfast?
hungry. He's hangry.
He's hanging, but shouldn't you have breakfast right before you go to school? Like, isn't that the optimal time for that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe they should give him the banana before he goes to school.
Yeah, but let's assume he's having breakfast at home. The bus ride makes him hungry. This kid's just hungry enough. How many calming bananas is he going to need throughout the day? Goes to art class. He's hungry. Needs another one. He's got his calming bushel of bananas. Next thing you know, this guy's running Donkey Kong levels, collecting as many bananas as he can, and he's still not satisfied.
And that's the problem, because now teachers are going to be breaking their glasses because they're slipping on banana peels.
It's one thing or another, but the glasses are not staying on. I'm sorry.
The glasses are not staying on when this kid is around.
I think the solution is teachers should get to arrest one kid a semester.
Oh.
Like, send them straight to juvie for behaving like that. And then, that sets the example.
Yeah. Then kids would behave a little bit more.
Yeah. Because then it's like, oh, I don't want to be the one who gets arrested, I can't be the first one acting up. I guess once the first one acts up, then it's fair game. But until then, everyone's like, oh, who's going to punch the teacher?
Is it that in this hypothetical utopia, is it that teachers get to send one student to juvie, or is it up to one? Like, they have to send one, or they can do 0 or 1?
They don't have to.
Okay.
It's just an option.
It'd be sort of fun to have like a battle royale Hunger Games thing where every single year you lose one of your classmates and you're like,
yeah,
apples.
Well, they fight in the gulag, and whoever wins gets to go back into class.
But they're in the gulag, but it's like an algebra test rather than shooting each other.
And there's just banana peels everywhere. Dude, teachers do have it rough, though. I have a couple of friends who were, for a very short time, teachers, and a couple who still are, and they've got some horror stories, man. Like, always with the phones, these kids,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're cooked, man.
I'm curious if you guys remember this, but what was like the most annoying or like crazy shit you did as a child? And do you feel bad for the teacher that had to put up with that?
I was certainly yapping during class. It wasn't called yapping back then. But like, I was chatting. But but then they wouldn't be mad because I would also do pretty well. So they were like, well, he's not paying attention, but he somehow picks this up anyways. So
yeah.
They were like, just don't bring your classmates down with you.
Yeah. Also just being a smart ass,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never physical, never throwing shit, just also folding a lot of paper planes. but that's kind of whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I actually went to my old high school a couple of months back because I did like a little talk about what I studied, what you can do with an education, and I apologized to my old math teacher for just making him, you know, probably near burnout with constant yapping and distracting people.
I feel like it's always the math teachers that have to put up with stuff too, because I think I owe an apology to my 8th grade math teacher. Like, I was mad that math wasn't harder than I thought it would be. Like, so what I'd do when I'd go into math is I'd speed run our textbook. And as soon as I got done with all of the stuff that she was going to cover in class, I would just be fucking around the rest of the time. I'm not like punching teachers breaking their glasses, but like I was opening up my mouth and then like slapping my mouth to make like musical instruments and then like getting the rest of the class to join with me. So we had like the entire back row of this math class just sitting here going like for the entire math class, and the teacher must have just been going insane. Like, you're trying to give this lecture and you just have a bunch of deadpanned students staring at you, unblinking, just wide open mouth, slapping themselves in the face repeatedly.
Yeah, and you finished your work and then started distracting people who didn't finish their work, probably. So,
do I feel bad for the teacher? Yes. Was I being a little shit? Yes. Maybe I need a calming banana.
You already had your mouth open.
I'm just one chomp away from finishing off that calming banana to get me back on track.
Here's the thing, though, and of course this parent is insane, but I genuinely think if you had a banana in that moment, you wouldn't have been fucking around.
Dude, how long does it take you to eat a banana? I was saying 2 slices of pizza in 12 minutes, and you're saying 1 banana in 50 minutes?
I mean, 2 slices in 12 minutes is a snail's pace, Jonas.
I wasn't saying I was trying to eat it fast.
Well, then fucking take your time with the banana. See what happens.
If you're eating a banana in 50 minutes, though, that's more than savoring.
Yeah, that's true.
You're slobbering over that shit.
How many bites does a banana last you guys?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm a big bite taker, man. I'm on my way to defeat Joey Chestnut. 3 bites is gone.
3? Really? Okay.
3 bites, bro.
I was going to say like 5, maybe.
Okay.
I enjoy a comfortable mouthful of banana. I don't want to overstuff.
Hey, look. I got plenty of space back there.
I'm taking these bananas slower than you guys are. That's for damn sure. I'm probably eating like 7, 8, maybe pushing 9 bites per banana.
Holy 9?
I'm going to have to keep track next time I have a banana on hand.
Yeah, I'm throwing those bananas.
What if instead of a hot dog eating contest, they did bananas?
It's probably better for you, right? Although the amount of sugar in those motherfuckers is
not just the sugar, but there is like hot dogs, they got some weird shit in them. But bananas, they got potassium. And potassium, some of it's radioactive. So there is a finite number of bananas that you could eat before you'd get poisoning from radioactivity. You know, the Geiger counter would be pointed at your stomach and it'd be going click, 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 click. I bet you it's really high, but I think that as we've seen with some of these 10x, perhaps even 60x eaters, they could maybe get there.
Maybe, but there's also a lot of magnesium in them, right? So what if they get all eepy? You know, you're like 12 bananas in and your eyelids are getting a little heavy. See Joey Chestnut just fall asleep at his plate.
Well, maybe they can just do like some smelling salts beforehand to really wake up, lock in, crush some bananas.
Okay, I did just do a little Google search, and I came across a question on r/no stupid questions 3 years ago, where somebody just claims, once again not fact checked, that you'd have to consume 400 bananas in one sitting to die from just pure potassium.
Joey Chestnut could do 401.
Well, okay. In that case, you just got to shrink the time, you know? If you're eating a lethal amount of bananas in 12 minutes, how about in 10? Maybe you can't get there. You know, you just gotta keep it tight and keep everyone safe.
Or you could shrink the bananas and make tiny bananas like they did in Despicable Me, the movie with the moon. Think about that one.
Good angle.
Speaking of bananas, I heard there was a game with some bananas going on.
Yeah, I just learned about this game on Steam. It's called Banana. Literally, that's it. It's just Banana. And it is currently the 4th most played game on Steam. It has the 4th most concurrent users at over 360,000. Okay. It is reaching insane levels. It is not even a game. That's the interesting thing about it. It is a free-to-play clicker, and all it does is every few hours drop you a Steam trading card of a different type of banana.
Okay.
Oh.
And essentially, it's like Steam legal version of NFTs, I think.
Oh my god.
And so people are idling the game because it also, your timer resets if you ever close the game. So you have to leave the game open all the time, which led some people to think it is actually a Bitcoin miner or keylogger or something like that, because it just, you leave it open. So far, those claims haven't been verified. That's just speculation.
The popular tags on it. Have you seen those, Aaron?
Yeah, that's just people being funny on Steam, I think. It really is like you just can click it and make the number go up. Okay. I don't even think clicking it does anything. But the reason the player count is so high is because people are like multi-boxing their PC to run this as much as possible to farm these Steam trading cards, hoping to hit one that's worth, 25 cents. So, I mean, some are supposedly worth $10, but there's also speculation that they're trading, the devs are just selling to each other to inflate the price. So they, the dev gifts his buddy a banana and then buys it from him for $10. So now all of a sudden on the Steam marketplace, the last trade was for $10.
These motherfuckers need to get a real hobby, man.
Yeah. And the problem is, in poorer countries, now all of a sudden, hey man, $10, that could be a week's food. So, like, Russians I've seen are heavily botting this game to try to farm bananas. And that's how we've reached the 4th most played game on Steam.
Dude, where were you during the banana uprising?
Yeah, so... And maybe the calming banana would work, man. It's working for 300,000 people right now. They're just sitting at their PC, clicking on a banana, hoping that they get a rare one.
Gaben's empire falling around him.
This game has got to get banned. So one of the developers is trade banned on Steam because he kept scamming people. They've done so many schemes on Steam just trying to scam people out of their items and stuff. Yeah. And this is their next scheme. And apparently it's working. I don't know how long this is going to be up. If you want to take your shot at Banana Game, log on now, I guess.
No, I don't know if I want to add it to my library. I'm pretty sure there's no viruses or anything, but I'm not going to risk it, man.
I'm not touching it.
Steam would recommend anything onto their platform these days.
Yeah. I would recommend everyone stay away, but if you are in dire need of 30 cents in your Steam wallet, I guess it might be worth a shot.
Listen, just add me as a friend. I'll get you some trading cards and we'll save you the trouble.
The discussion I wanted to have around this is like, what are we even doing here in gaming nowadays? That, there were 300,000 people just waiting to make 30 cents, possibly every 3 hours.
Yeah.
What's the point anymore, man?
It's like you could make the argument that this is like kind of parody art. If we're getting into the whole games are art discussion, and this is a way to ridicule the genre, the media rather. But it just seems like a weird, like you said, a weird way to game the Steam system and to scam Gaben out of his hard-earned 30% that he takes off of everything.
Well, see, that's the thing is they aren't scamming Gaben, and that's why people are wondering if this is going to be allowed, because Steam is collecting questionable amounts of money. People have speculated, over $10,000 already just on the volume of people selling bananas for 1 cent, or, they sell it for 3 cents and Steam takes a 1 cent cut. And there have been hundreds of thousands of bananas traded between people at this point.
All I'm saying is in like 10 years, we know what 10 to 20 years can do to the internet. This is like the Ray J moment on Steam happening right now. It could destroy the entire Steam economy.
Right. And it's like, this is just someone like, how do I make NFTs without making NFTs? Because those are banned on Steam. Yeah. And so this is another turning point for Steam where they banned NFTs. Are they going to come out with some sort of policy against this where your game, like free-to-play games, can't do drops, but then people are going to be like, well, I'm going to charge $1 for my game and you can make that back in 5 drops.
Yeah.
Or what, it's...
Or if they have, they add a new tag that's NFT likes. Like,
this...
It's just a new thing. You're just like, oh, yeah.
This game working is very worrying for the amount of garbage that we're about to see flood into the gaming marketplace.
About to see.
Yeah.
We've been seeing it.
This is a new genre, though. It's literally a game that does nothing.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I see they are also selling banana skins on the Steam page.
So they are making some money off of this, which...
Yeah. Which is a crime, in my opinion. You shouldn't be able to make money off of this. That's how dare you.
That's really all I had to say about that. It was just something I learned about earlier today, and I am scared.
You're just like, yeah, we got to talk about this. I think that there is this trend though of just having your computer idle or burn just excessive amounts of energy in order to do something. Sometimes it's a little bit cool, like generative AI, it's just computers that are sitting there crunching numbers a whole lot and coming up with a model. Or sometimes it's not very cool, like NFTs, and it's just we're just burning a bunch of energy, crunching some numbers so we can give out some more stuff to people. But people really just letting their computers stay
What's
on
up with
run.
that?
And I think that this solves that for a lot of people. They're just I feel productive with my computer on. And it's you're getting 30 cents every 3 hours, but
I feel like I'm the only MFer in the world who just turns his computer off when he's done using it for a while. Am I losing my mind? I feel like it's becoming more and more common where people are just I leave my PC on all the time. Why?
Yeah, I feel like people have forgotten that electricity is a thing that is a resource, right? It doesn't just come free with your house or apartment.
Yeah.
We have to burn every second we spend recording this podcast is burning coal over in China, probably, right? It ain't free. It feels free while we're doing it, but it isn't.
Yeah, not to dox myself, but I work for an energy company, and let me tell you, that shit is not free, man. Especially if you've got 2 screens or even more. It's costing you $50 a day, maybe, depending on where you are, what the energy prices are like.
Yeah, see, I can barely cover that with my banana Steam trading card.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why you gotta unplug your monitors, dummies.
Then how am I supposed to see what I get?
He's banana maxing.
You just raw dog start clicking, and then after a couple of days, you turn it back on and see what you can sell. Oh, but that requires delayed gratification. You're right.
Exactly.
If I could do that, I wouldn't be idling my computer for 72 straight hours to collect 30 cents of banana pictures.
So, thinking about when I was a kid, the things that I would do for a quarter, it was a lot more intense than what I do now. I was scouring under the self-checkouts to see if I could find a quarter whenever I'd be out at the grocery store or something like that. And over the course of 10, 15 grocery store trips, I'd have saved up enough quarters and nickels and pennies or whatever to buy a pack of Pokemon cards.
You guys had self-checkout when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Damn. We're behind on the times, man.
And I don't know, nowadays if I drop a quarter on the ground, I'm just sort of I'll leave it for some kid to go buy a pack of Pokemon cards. It's just not as important to me.
I think it was a TED talk where someone did a thing where like how much had to be on the ground for Bill Gates to bend over and pick it up, and it was like $25,000. That's what a penny is like to him.
So, anyway, sounds like we're
first I want when do you motherfuckers turn your PC off?
Oh, I sleep it. I don't turn it off, but I sleep it.
Man,
I don't know what the difference is, to be honest, other than it boots up faster the next day.
Jonas?
I'm a sleeper as well.
They're EP. Got some EP PCs. Anyway, I do think that's going to do it for episode 4 of the Normally Online podcast. Thank you all for listening, and see you next time.
Make sure to review us and follow us on your podcast platform of choice. Since you made it to the end of the episode, you must like it here.
Dude, what's up? How you doing? Call your mom, and also don't play banana.
Yeah.
See ya.